ability that Myron and Fresh might have both Michaela Peterson and Jordan Peterson on in February. That's the rumor. We will see. It's scheduled. It's hopeful. Questionable. This was Kevin Samuels talking about me, but also Red Pill creator. So here, see if you can. I'm not going to do the video because I don't want to get a copyright strike.
You at your age.
Well, I think
like
life, for me, life is about people. For me, life is about relationships. For me, life is made better when you have human connections along with material possessions. For me, I don't worry about all the problems of the world.
You can't worry about all the problems in the world. If you worry about all the problems in the world and you're on the fucking bottom, you're going to do what I said in one of my previous videos is you're going nowhere. And it's like, focus on your life first and then do that shit. What did Akon do? Motherfucker became a fucking multi-millionaire, signed Lady Gaga, got a $2 billion credit from China, and actually created an electrical infrastructure in many countries in Africa, changed millions of lives pre-COVID. So when COVID hit, people actually were able to survive. Who, God knows how many thousands, if not millions, of people would have lost their lives because of not having energy that Akon gave to them because he did something about it.
About my world and what I can control and the value I deliver to others and the value I get from others. So I can be just as aware of human nature, female nature, male nature, and still chart a path. This is why I think a lot of the content creators make a lot of this content. Why do you think most of the guys who make male content are in long-term significant relationships and as they're aware as they are? I'm not talking about the young guys. I'm talking about the older guys.
Because they're at the time when they secured their woman, they were in a different period of time where the women were different, the generation were different, and those people say it, that if I were a man in this generation living today, I would not get married.
Who says
Rollo
that?
Tomassi.
Birds, crickets, why?
And follow Rollo.
Pregnant pause.
For real.
No, I follow everyone. I'm open to hearing all sides.
And see, Kevin's immature for that type of response. Like, it's cool, and so like let me explain, you guys. It's immature in the sense that if this is somebody that's genuinely coming to Kevin Samuels asking for this help, one can make the argument of saying he's a grown man, he should have his own issues sorted out, whatever. But he's coming to Kevin Samuels. Now, Kevin Samuels should have actually answered the question, but instead he just said, well, go follow Rollo Tomassi. It sounds like a fucking little kid that's just like gets mad, like, well, I'm not gonna be your friend anyways. If you're not gonna do what I want to do, I'm not your friend. Like, that's what it kind of sounds like. And I know people are gonna be in the chat like, oh, you just talking shit on Kevin Samuels. No, I'm actually telling you, I'm being critical of him. Once again, I like Kevin Samuels. I've changed, my life has changed listening to a lot of the shit that Kevin Samuels has said, and it talks about. I'm not hating. I'm being critical.
I mean, I
don't think he knew what to say, but
I don't see many millionaires or billionaires who are single. And I know, and here's the thing, I don't know Rollo personally. I don't know if you're quoting him correctly or not, but I will tell you this. I judge outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
I know most men who, especially men over 40, who are in these spaces are in long-term relationships. Most men are in relationships. See, what I hear a lot, I hear a lot of guys preaching, marriage is bad and this is bad, da-da-da-da-da-da, and behind the scenes, they're in relationships, they're simping, and see, that's why I think, I'm not going to say something, because I don't want to get dragged into a bunch of controversy, because it ain't my world. I think I would rather be a high value man, making myself a man and having leverage to be able to control the options in my world versus trying to set myself up to defend against an undefined foe that's a female. You can get fucked over by business partners. You can get fucked over by the world. But if you're 25, I wouldn't want to live so defensive and worried about stuff that's outside of my control. If I'm hearing you correctly, you've had an 8-month relationship, and before that, hookups. Not a lot of experience.
Right.
So
I'm the
then stop trying to figure it out and collect experiences. Get out, live your life. Don't make any babies.
Understood. And if I may ask you one last question, Kevin.
Sure.
So what is your philosophy on marriage? Yours as in you as an individual.
For me personally,
Yeah.
I'd get married again.
There you go.
So you're open to getting married.
I've been very clear on that. Because my first 2 marriages, I didn't know what I know now. I didn't know what I know now. And it's not a matter of money, although money does help. It's a matter of even if I can say, that's why I never talk crap about my exes.
You know what it is? I'm gonna tell you what it is, you guys. This is what it is. Adult children of emotionally immature parents. That's the reason why Kevin Samuels can say he can go through 2 marriages, divorced, ended up all in divorces, and still go through another one. And now saying that he's learned, he's different now. It's because their generation, his generation, what they ended up doing is they discovered emotional openness and emotional intimacy and emotional connection later on in their life. And I know what you guys are thinking out here in the motherfucking red pill space and the purple pill space. Kevin Samuels is purple pill. I don't give a fuck what anybody got to say about that shit. Like, his shit is all dedicated to purple pill shit. And it's so fucking weird when people come in the comment sections and talk about, oh, you're not red pill. Oh, you're the Kevin Samuels. His channel is all about getting married. High value men getting what they want and getting married. This is every fucking show. He reverberates the same message. It's actually about women. If you really look at the consistency of actions speak louder than words, his show is actually about women getting the outcome that they want under the guise of men getting what they want and deserve and being a men's channel, things like that. It's really just from a man's perspective more than it's a men's for men. If that makes sense. It's geared in a way that's men, but the content is women. Off topic. This book is fucking fantastic, and it will explain to you the relationships and that we have with people, why we're emotionally distant, how you can be years in a relationship and still feel like you're not really making progress. And let's just like cut the fucking shit, you guys. It's really about being emotional. You have to use your words, and what I mean by being emotional is you have to be in tune with your emotions and articulate it in a way that is communicative to your partner, people around you, coworkers, whatever. That shit matters even in a working situation. You want to talk about moving up and shit like that? You have to be socially intelligent. Social intelligence has a high degree, not all the times, but emotional intelligence plays a major part in social interactions and moving around with people and moving up and getting in good favors and having things handed to you, getting invited out to different parties, getting invited out to different events, getting told critical key information that someone tells you this, other people aren't really talking about it, that gives you the edge. What do they call it, man? It's like, it's illegal to tell, like, you're two, let's say it's 2 CEOs. Let's say I'm the CEO of Sony, and my best friend is the CEO of Apple, and I say, hey Sony. No, I say, hey, Brandon, whatever the fuck. He's the CEO of Apple. Brandon, I heard, guess what? I'm finna buy out all of Samsung. So you're never gonna have another issue. Only Apple's gonna be the only thing. We're gonna do this in February 2022. Don't tell anybody else. Just want to let you know that so you can start pumping up my stocks, and then I promise you're going to get a big return. That's illegal as fuck. You're going to do some jail time for doing some shit like that, right? It's an unfair advantage. You're giving somebody insider information. Insider trading is what it's called. The same thing happens in the workplace. You can get inside information that's going to help you get the position, secure something so much faster and easier than other people can if you had some really good actual fucking like connections with people. You know what I'm saying? But you got to develop those. You got to learn how to do that type of shit. So let's get back into the video, guys. I'm kind of rambling on.
When if relationships fail, I say the responsibility for me and my failed relationships ultimately falls on me. And I talk to plenty of people who make content, but who are these guys single? Are they?
Most.
I mean, what are you getting at though?
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you repeat the last question?
Are they single?
The men making content?
Most of the people who make this diehard anti-marriage, anti-relationship content, are they? See, it's. Man, I don't want to go down that path. Me, look, I don't want to be 75 years old, 65 years old.
This is it.
With a rotation.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. I mean, just life is about relationship. That's what it comes down to. And relationships, by their very nature, are risks.
Right.
So, just like you put your money in the stock market, how much risk are you willing to accept? Well, it's based upon the potential outcome. But if you're going to deal with women, women are always going to be a risk. Don't get into more risk than you're willing to deal with. It's
actually some really good shit, you guys. Really good shit. Like, when you're older, you gotta think about this shit, man. Like, it really, when you are 65, 75, your body, you're gonna be physically degrading. You know what I'm saying? Your body's gonna get weaker. You're gonna be more dependent. People on the street aren't gonna help you out like that, man. It's not like having somebody buy you. So it takes a lifetime to build something with somebody. And so like you gotta start at an early age the right way with the right mindset, aiming towards a similar goal, you know? And so that's some good shit that Kevin's talking about.
Have you ever gambled before? Like,
all right, well, that's good enough. I think he keeps going on here. That's actually a pretty good little clip. I wish I could play the whole damn thing for you guys. Two of the takeaways that I had from this is, first of all, and if Kevin watches this, and I'm sure somebody will link him to this little section here right at the end of this show. This is not about Kevin. This is about the caller, actually, not Kevin per se. I think the misperception that people have about me is that I'm against marriage, and I will probably discuss this with Elijah Schaefer. I'm sure this question will come up. Well, you've been in the red pill for you've been doing what you've been doing for 20 years, right? Yeah, I have. How can you be so down on marriage? I'm not down on marriage. Certainly not down on my marriage, anyways. As I said in my fourth book right here. In this, where is it? There's a very, like right in the center of the book, right? There is a very thick passage. Probably the longest chapter I wrote in the book was titled Marriage, right? And of course I cover it from a red pill perspective, but also a religious and socio-religious perspective and what marriage has become. I very much would love each and every one of you to have a great relationship with a woman, if you're a man, or vice versa. I would love to see heterosexual, marriages between a man and a woman, and because it has been my opinion, and I've stated this God knows how many times, that men and women are better together than we are apart. We have innate complementary strengths and weaknesses that are a part of our elements, let's just say, of.
It kind of remind me of Hancock, man. I don't know if y'all watched that movie or not, but Will Smith and his love interest, were gods. They were created in pairs. When they're apart, they're strong as fuck. They're immortal, damn near. When they're apart, no, when they're together, that's when they're in love. They have this attraction that they just can't stop, but they get weak. They get weak and they become mortals, basically. They become regular. But when they're apart, they're super strong and like immortal together. But together. And so what that says, you guys, is I love the metaphor that it has, right? And so like, honestly though, we are stronger when we are together as opposed to apart. It's actually the opposite. So Hancock, the dynamic between Will Smith and the other main character is actually the opposite in real life. We're actually so much stronger when we are together, right? If you can get an actual good relationship. If you are a person that deserves a good relationship because of the work that you've done and your intentions. You know what I'm saying? If that's something that is right for you. So that those types of things will happen. But let's continue.
Who we are as men and women. The guys will say, well, I'm a standalone man. I'm a Sigma male. I can do whatever I want to. I don't need no woman. I only need her to have sex and have a baby for me, and then I can take care of the rest. Rollo, I'm superior. No, you're not. I've said this. Maybe that's what you think you are.
Some people can.
It doesn't necessarily negate, just because that's the way you think about yourself, or maybe you can do that. I'm not saying that guys can't successfully do that, or even women do. Women better get used to that idea, because a very large percentage of them will be single and childless by the time they're between 25 and 45 by year 2030, according to Morgan Stanley and the rise of the she economy. Get used to the idea of being single, ladies. Get used to the idea of being a spinster. Guys, get used to being alone. Get used to being a MGTOW. Get used to being black pill. Get used to jerking off. Get used to being, berated by old school guys like Jordan Peterson for jerking off or for not trying. Get used to that, because until you realize that men and women are complements to one another, you're never going to come to that conclusion. And ladies, you too. If you want to put people, if you're all about relationships, as Kevin has said, life is about relationships. I think life's a whole lot more, than just relationships. But, we're talking about a guy who's been divorced twice and is open to the idea of getting married one more time at 52. Prospects for marriage for a 52-year-old man. Trust me, I'm 53. So prospects for marriage for a 52-year-old guy are much different in 2021 and much different at this age. What does that look? What does a good scenario look like at that stage? Like, you're going to get married for the third time. Well, I know better now, and I won't make the same mistake. You just make new mistakes. You'll just make new mistakes, seriously, because you're not prepared for what's coming down the road here. It's easy to say, well, women need to be held accountable. Yeah, okay, that's great, but you still have to be red pill aware enough to make the red pill sort of your second nature, to understand game to the point where it's not a game anymore. It's just who you are, and accept that. And accept that women are the way they are and you are the way you are. And so when I talk about how men and women are complements, innate, evolved complements to one another, what that means is that, for sake of illustration, my strengths compensate for my wife's weaknesses, and my weaknesses are compensated for by my wife's strengths. And people will go, oh my gosh, what are you? I'm invincible. I don't have any weaknesses. Well, there's things that women are better at than men are. And there's things that, lots of things that men are better at than women are. And when we get into trouble, the reason why we're in the shit stew that we're in right now is because we think we're not. Because we think we're standalone. Because we think we don't need the other. Because we think that we are blank slates.
Man, so with that being said, man, I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that, you guys. That's a great little section and a little commentary from Rollo Tomassi. He created The Rational Male, you guys. It's such an amazing book. I think women should read it as well. There's so much to learn in those books, It's just different things coming in. It's nothing like you can get videos, hear little clips here and there all the time, but you're only getting half you're not even getting half of the message, you guys. If you think the little clips that you're seeing are great, take the time to really dig through the content, dig through the real sources. The Rational Male, all of them so far. I'm reading the fourth one right now, but all of them have been fucking fantastic. And so for someone like Rollo Tomassi to break down the dynamic of another great like Kevin Samuels, you know, it's a lot of good stuff for you guys to it's like in the Matrix, you know, follow the white bunny. These are like little specks and little signs in the universe that people need. If you are in a very morally, ethically, progressively deprived family, community, culture, whatever, this should be like a little nugget that it's like it just feels different. When you hear these types of words, it just feels different. It hits different. You got to follow that feeling and learn more about it. Okay. What are they talking about? Openly connecting. What about marriage? You know, what is going on with this red pill? What is the red pill? Okay, let me try to figure it out. Let me do some Googling. What's this shit about the rational male? Why do I keep hearing this book about the rational male? You know what? Let me just fucking pick it up. Let me just pick it up. Let me go order on Amazon for like less than $20. It'll come at my doorstep in like 2-3 days. Let me just go ahead and do that to see what everybody's talking about. Let me see if that's actually going to change my life. Let me go get that book by Simon Sinek. Let me actually take that course. Let me get that license. See what everybody, like, just do the fucking work. Stop trying to get bite-sized pieces from the internet and shit all the time. Like, do the work, you guys. That's all I'm saying. So, anyways, man, I hope y'all enjoyed that, man. I'm gonna put the actual link of the video down below in the description, man. That was good. I'll see y'all next one.